Part 1. Embassies are spy bases. The U.S. has over 160 foreign embassies on its territory, and there are many more embassies around the world. And those embassies are all crawling with foreign spies. Okay, not all of them, but many are. Usually, when you think of an embassy, you might think of a place where foreign diplomats gather to have meetings, discuss issues between countries, and resolve disputes. Or you may think of them as places where you can get permission to go to another country by applying for a visa. But one of the most shocking things about embassies is that they are often bases for spies. Many diplomats are really just undercover intelligence agents. According to Professor Anthony Glees, director of the Center for Security and Intelligence Studies at the University of Buckingham, every embassy in the world has spies, and because every country does it, he says, there's an unwritten understanding that governments are prepared to turn a blind eye to what goes on within embassies. In the U.S., agencies like the FBI carry out counterintelligence operations, which, in part, means they are responsible for monitoring the activities of foreign embassies and consulates to detect any espionage activity against the United States. And in 2020, the U.S. closed down the Chinese embassy in Houston, Texas, for reportedly carrying out such activities. The consulate was reportedly spying on the U.S. energy and medical industries to try and glean secrets that the Chinese could use. Part 2. Embassies sometimes function as listening stations. Sometimes embassies are used as listening stations, meaning they are used to eavesdrop on communications in the countries they operate in by, for example, intercepting calls. Both the British and U.S. embassies in Berlin have been accused of doing so. Part 3. Why don't countries just kick out spies who pose as diplomats? Well, one reason is that, as weird as it sounds, having spies in your country can be useful. Why? Because as Christopher Costa, a former Army colonel and current director of the International Spy Museum, points out, even when spies are discovered, it's often more fruitful to follow them discreetly than to expel them. Because spies can be turned into double agents or otherwise used to spy on the countries that sent them. And nations sometimes do expel diplomats who are spies. Many Russian spies have been expelled from Russian embassies in Western countries over the years. But the Russians usually retaliate, and so countries end up in a conundrum where if they expel the spies from a foreign country's embassy, then that foreign country will do the same to their spies, and that means they will lose some of their ability to spy on the foreign country as well. For example, Russia's recent invasion of Ukraine has prompted the expulsion of a lot of Russian diplomats from Russian countries who are undercover spies, and it's starting to hurt the Russian intelligence gathering capabilities. So there's a tacit understanding that some members of an embassy will be spies because both sides can benefit from spying on each other. For example, by turning spies into double agents and using them to spy on the country that sent them. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on social media, and, as always, take care.